opportunity to hear the nectarian pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we are going to observe Gaurapurnima soon. And Prabhuji has given his time despite of his busy schedule. So without taking much time, I just want to give a brief introduction of Prabhuji, although needless to give any introduction of Prabhuji, but for the sake of new audience, I just want to give a brief introduction. So Amarendra Prabhu academically holds a double master's degree from United States, one in electrical engineering from the University of Massachusetts, and the other in business administration from the state of Minnesota in the US. So he is a inspirational speaker, and he also traveled over 100 cities in various continents. And also he gave talks on big questions about life, such as science, religion, culture, and meditation. His soul-stirring and spiritually nourishing discourses on theology, philosophy, and the ancient wisdom texts of the East. And they are very, very viral on social platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, and there are so many followers and so many views of more than 5 million. So Amarendra Prabhu was also awarded with Bhakti Shastri at the age of 19, and pursuing a systematic spiritual study deeper with time, Amarendra Prabhu took shelter of His Holiness Radha Govinda Das Goswami, and he is very, Maharaj is a Sanskrit scholar and spiritual master from Vrindavan, who has been teaching Bhagavatam more than 50 years. As a student, Amarendra Prabhu continues to systematically study Srimad Bhagavat Purana under the guidance of Maharaj, and he took shelter. Since then, he has been invited and has participated in numerous interreligious faith conferences and scientific symposiums with talks at world-class universities such as MIT and Harvard. So, renowned for his ability to articulate the scriptural spiritual teachings in a simple yet scholarly manner, he makes for an interesting encounter. And today we have opportunity to hear from Prabhuji's Mukharvin. So let us welcome loudly by chanting. Of course, keep yourself muted and loudly chanting Hare Krishna, so that Prabhuji can take the stage and he will enlighten us with his knowledge. So stage is yours, Amarendra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, dear Amrita Gauranga Prabhu. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for this loving invitation to all the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are participating from ISKCON Mukundadesh Center and from other parts of the country and the globe. I want to start off by offering my obeisances. I want to beg for your blessings. May the right words come at the right time in the right mood of service. May this service give pleasure to the ears of the Supreme Lord. May it cleanse our consciousness. That's the most important thing. May we please the Supreme Lord, Shri Radha Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampara. And as reciprocation of their mercy, when we serve them and they become pleased and they shower their mercy, then our consciousness gets cleansed. This is our only desire. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Is my voice audible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So we will start off by hearing and singing together a very wonderful bhajan. This is written by a devotee called as Radha Mohan Prabhu, Radha Mohan Das, a Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya, and this glorifies Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can see this is there on ISKCON Desire Tree. The name of the song is Sakhe Kalaya Gauram Udaram. It is in Sanskrit, and the author is Radha Mohan Prabhu. So I will first read the translation. It's having only 4 stanzas. So we will quickly read that and then we will sing this song. My friend, that most magnanimous Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu has appeared as the rising sun to dispel the darkness of this age of Kali. His brilliant golden complexion shames the bright luster of gold, and his beauty defeats the pride of Cupid. His curly black hair is decorated with a garland made of malati flowers, and bumblebees are flying around them. So you can see that the first stanza talks about the information that Mahaprabhu has appeared to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. And then after that, his Rupa Madhuri, which means the sweet description of his transcendental form, continues. His beautiful moon-like face is decorated with tilak, and his dressing enchants the whole world. His sweet smile delivers all embodied souls from the mire of material existence by generating in them the greed for love of Godhead. He displays unique ecstatic symptoms. This is so true. We don't see any incarnation in the form of a devotee to display ecstatic symptoms or devotional symptoms of or transcendental sentiments for the Supreme Lord. He, hankering to relish the unparalleled pastimes of the greatly munificent Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, who distributes mercy in the form of Nama Prem to the supremely fortunate Nishkinchana souls, those whose only possession is love of Godhead, the fallen and foolish. Of course, Radha Mohan Prabhu, as the Acharya, in his humility, saying that. But he's saying that he's hankering to relish, but he's already relishing. And he's calling himself very destitute. But we must understand that we should put our name here. He's not fallen. He's very intelligent. That's why he's giving us this song. We don't even know what to pray to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So he has prayed, and very humbly and in a very meek mood of complete destitute fallen state, he's writing his name. But we must put our name here, that we are singing this mood or the song in the mood of great distress, glorifying Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's sing this song, and then we will get on to today's discussion. Just a minute, I'll just make a, yeah, here we go. Sakhe kalaya gauram udaram, Sakhe kalaya gauram udaram, Ninditahataka kanti kalevara, Ninditahataka kanti kalevara, Garvita maraka maram, Garvita maraka maram, Sakhe kalaya gauram udaram, Sakhe kalaya gauram udaram, Madhukara ranjita malati mandita, Madhukara ranjita malati mandita, Jita ghana kunchita kesham, Jita ghana kunchita kesham, Tilaka vinindita shashadhara rupaka, Tilaka vinindita shashadhara rupaka, Bhuvana भुवना मनोहरवेशम् भुवना मनोहरवेशम् भुवना मनोहरवेशम् भुवना मनोहरवेशम् सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् मधुमधुरस्मिता लोभेत तनुभृता मधुमधुरस्मिता लोभेत तनुभृता अनुपम भाव विलासम् अनुपम भाव विलासम् अनुपम भाव विलासम् अनुपम भाव विलासम् निखिल निजा जना मोहितमानसा निखिल निजा जना मोहितमानसा विखदित गदभाषम् विखदित गदभाषम् विखदित गदभाषम् विखदित गदभाषम् सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् परमा किञ्चना किञ्चन नरगणा परमा किञ्चना किञ्चन नरगणा करुणावितरणशीलम् 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 क्षोभितदुर्मति राधा मोहना क्षोभितदुर्मति राधा मोहना नाम कनेरो पमलीला नाम कनेरो पमलीला नाम कनेरो पमलीला नाम कनेरो पमलीला ओ सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् सखे कलाय गौरम् उदारम् जय शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि जय शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि जय शचीनंदन जय गौर हरि विष्णु प्रिय प्राणधन नदिय विहारी हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Shachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Nityananda Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Gaudiya Guru Varga Ki Jai, ISKCON Guru Brinda Ki Jai, Gaura Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. Srila Prabhupada has recorded the songs, the Gaudiya Vaishnava bhajans, and he has also given purports to them. Like you can read the purport to Gaurangera Dutipada Jardhana Shampada. It's a very big purport. And Srila Prabhupada writes the songs of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they are actually the essence of the four Vedas. Sometimes we may think, if the class is going on, we may think, when is the kirtan going to start? And when the kirtan is going on, we think, this is just the beginning. The actual thing is the class. Some initial 5-10 minute, there must be some kirtan. That is the time when we can make some phone calls, we can make some arrangements, we can go and talk. Sometimes we may think like that. But we should understand that bhajan and kirtan, singing Vaishnav bhajans and chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this is very important. All the Hari Katha is spoken only so that it inspires us to take shelter of these songs. It inspires us to take shelter of Krishna Nam. So whenever there is a home program, whenever there is a temple program, we should never think, this is just Jai Radha Madhava. This is just some kirtan going on. Sometimes it is the nature of the conditioned soul that we may think that kirtan is a filler, which means the speaker has not come yet. It's already time. Okay, Prabhuji, you do some kirtan for 5 minutes. Sometimes we may see like that. But this is a very great offense to the holy name. Very great offense. Whenever we get a chance to chant japa, whenever we get a chance to do kirtan, not just leading, even responding. Somebody is leading and we are responding. And whenever we get a chance to hear Hari Katha, we should be very attentive. We should be very attentive, no talking. Sometimes it happens that kirtan is going on and the person sitting behind is chanting japa. Right? Or sometimes kirtan is going on and the person is having side conversations. This is very great trick of Kali Yuga, of Maya Devi, to distract us away from the only Yuga Dharma in the age of Kali Yuga. So when kirtan is going on, bhajans are going on, we want to be in the moment at that point, completely absorbed and praying with all our heart. With all our heart. Sometimes we may think, these songs in Bengali I don't understand. Sometimes people think like that. Or the songs in Sanskrit I don't understand. But we should not think like that. There is a very interesting story that my Guru Maharaj used to say. He used to say that once upon a time there was a man who used to work in a candle factory. Wax factory. So they used to make candles. So the first day he went to work and they taught him how to make candles. And he saw that there was some wax sticking on his hand. So he came home and he washed with soap. And then all of that went away. But he did that same job at the the wax factory for 26 years in his life. So when he retired, and every single day he made candles. So when he retired and he came home, that day also he washed with soap. But what happened? Because he had been doing the same thing for 26 years, although he washed with soap, a layer of wax had already been formed on his hands because of doing something for 26 years. Even soap cannot wash it off. Which means, if we do some bhajan kirtan for one day, Maya with the soap of her tricks, she can wash it off very quickly. But if we do something for a long, long time, like in the example of the wax factory, working with wax. Similarly, if we work with bhajans and kirtans for a long, long time, however hard Maya Devi tries with the soap of her tricks to take it off, some layer will stick to our consciousness. Initially, we may think, oh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahasaya is chanting. Narottam Das Thakur Mahasaya has written these songs and they're saying, oh, Mo sama patita prabhu nahi tribhuvane. I am the most fallen in the whole creation. But I don't feel like that. We may think like that. No problem. The power of these bhajans and kirtans is such that just by singing them for 5, 10, 20 years, we will start feeling it. The purport of these words will enter the consciousness. And we will not even know the date when we started feeling that. But after doing the same kirtan for 20 years, we may be convinced, not on the tongue, but in the heart, that my life, Amar Jivan Sada Pape Rato Nahi Ko Punya Ralesh. Oh, my life is filled with sins and wrongdoings, and there's nothing good that I have done in my life. I have manipulated situations. I have spoken lies only to get things done in my favor. I have spoken untruth. I have committed violence towards others by hurting them through my speech. All these emotions will come in the heart naturally by doing these kirtans. Someone may say that, oh, well, I feel that sometimes. Yes, sometimes we may feel that. We act fallen, therefore we feel fallen. But the power of these kirtans is, one will not act fallen, still one will be convinced that we are most fallen. To act fallen and then to feel fallen is not something great. We are spending all our day on Facebook and then after that feeling, oh, my day is wasted. All day I was on social media. This is not humility. This is some bit of honesty that yes, we acted fallen, so we are naturally feeling fallen. But great Vaishnavacharyas, they are remembering Krishna for 23 hours and 59 minutes. And why that 1 minute there was disturbance in their consciousness? Thinking of that, they feel, oh, I am most fallen. What kind of renunciant am I? I forgot Krishna who gives me breath for 24 hours. I forgot him for 1 minute, which means 60 seconds I was breathing without remembering the Lord who's actually giving me that breath. What kind of ungrateful servant is this? There's no extent to the humility of great Vaishnavacharyas. So the point is, the path to get there starts by singing their kirtans. Therefore, Vaishnav songbook is very important. The songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the songs of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, very important. And Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and all the Vaishnav songs. Some Vaishnav devotees, very advanced Vaishnavas I know, they have just Vaishnav bhajans for 1 hour every day. They sing systematically. They will sing bhajans for the spiritual master. Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koro Ei Dase, Ohe Vaishnav Thakur, Samsara Davanala. All of these are Guru Pranam, offering obeisances to Gurudev. Then after that, then they start singing bhajans for Vaishnavacharyas, like Shat Goswami Ashtakam, singing Sri Rupa Manjari Pada Sei Mora Sampada for Rupa Goswami. So many wonderful. E Bara Karuna Koro Vaishnava Gosai. So many wonderful songs are there. Even Narottam Das Thakur has sung Thakura Vaishnava Pada Avanira Sampada. That the lotus feet of the great Vaishnavacharyas is the treasure of Mother Earth. Singing like that. Then after that, kirtans for Nityananda Prabhu. Then kirtans for Shashinandan Gaurahari Mahaprabhu. And then kirtans for Radha Krishna. So it's 1 hour program, just bhajans. We understand the meaning and then we sing. Not like a parrot, but we understand the meaning. We read the meaning. In fact, when we get time with pencil, we even take different terms and we match it with the translation and write the meaning with pencil above the words, in short, in brief. So that next time when we sing that kirtan, we don't even have to read the translation. Just by moving with the lines, we know the meaning. And then we can feel it as we're singing. Every line can be sung once, twice, thrice. We actually mean it and we want to sing it. Doesn't have to be on the microphone, doesn't have to be with a lot of people. It could just be all alone with our altar, sitting there, Tulsi Devi, Gurudev, Prabhupada, and then we are singing. We don't have to be musicians. Nothing wrong if we can add music also, but to the best of our heart's emotions. How we will not make advancement, right? But then the age of Kali Yuga is such that laziness. We are lazy to do anything and everything. Praye nalpayusha sabhya kalau asmin yuge jana manda sumanda matayor manda bhagya rupadrita. Very eager to do things that are not supposed to be done, and absolutely no enthusiasm to do the things that we are supposed to do. This is the age of, this is the effect of Kali Yuga. But when we are on the path of bhakti, enthusiasm is very important. If we want to get into the army, we have to be enthusiastic. You can't sleep till 7 o'clock in the morning and try to fight a battle. Not possible. You can't be lazy. You can't overeat. You can't oversleep. You can't be indisciplined. You've seen people from the army, those who've been in the army, very disciplined. Very, very disciplined. So if you want to be in the army of Srila Prabhupada, if you want to be the army of Srimad Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then discipline is the key. Enthusiasm, confidence, patience, perseverance for a long time. We have to do what we are supposed to do. Just like on 1st of January, people take resolution, I'm going to hit, or 31st of December, let's say, that from tomorrow I'm going to hit the gym. They go to the gym for 1 or 2 days, and then what happens after that? It's always difficult to keep something going. Always difficult. It's very easy to take resolutions. From tomorrow, I'm going to do this. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. For taking resolutions, you just have to say it. And to end something, you just have to decide, I'm not going to do it. But to keep something going is most difficult. Most difficult. So therefore, Prabhupada said, don't be surprised by how many leave. Be surprised by how many stay. Right? Because the process of bhakti is an eliminator contest. It's very easy to lose faith, very easy to lose enthusiasm. But we want to keep going. We want to be like commanders, like fighting this battle. Not the battle outside, but the battle within. Right? So that's the introduction to this katha. Now we will begin. We will do Mangalacharan and then we will begin. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemavadibhya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. This is actually a very nice pranam mantra for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is written by Prabodhananda Saraswati. If somebody wants to write it down, we'll repeat it again. Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemabha Divya Chavi Sundaraya Hemabha Divya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Thank you, Prem Prasad Radha Madhav Prabhu, for that reference and the verse in the chat. Everyone can see, it's posted. Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemabha Divya Chavisundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. What does this mean? Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya, to that Vigraha, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who performs Leela. What kind of Leela? Ananda Leela Maya. He performs pastimes which are intoxicating with joy. So Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya, to that Supreme Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who performs pastimes which are joyful. Hemabha Divya Chavisundaraya, and his form is radiating with the golden effulgence that he's made up of. Molten gold complexion, Mahaprabhu. Krishna in the complexion of Sri Radha, golden complexion. Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya, to that Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Prema Rasa Pradaya, who's coming in this world to give Krishna Prem. Sri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. To that Chaitanya Chandra, Sriman Mahaprabhu, we offer our obeisances. So in this way, we should offer obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabodhananda Saraswati has composed this very beautiful verse. So today, we will be discussing on a very sweet, wonderful topic from the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As our Prabhuji, Amrit Gauranga Prabhu, in the starting, he announced that this is the series for on the occasion of Sri Gaurapurnima. So we are discussing Gaur Leela. But apart from that, tomorrow, here in America, we are observing the disappearance of Srila Isvara Puri, the beloved spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So therefore, at this juncture of Gaur Purnima festival and tomorrow being the disappearance of Srila Isvara Puri, the Guru, the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we thought of discussing on the topic Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love for Sripad Isvara Puri. Actually, in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can see that Mahaprabhu displayed his pastimes, manifested his pastimes for 48 years, of which the first 24 years Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu displayed the pastimes as a grihastha up to the age of 24. At the age of 24, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he took sannyas from Keshav Bharati Maharaj at Katwa, and he was given the name Sri Krishna Chaitanya at the age of 24. And then for the next 6 years, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu traveled profusely. He took so many yatras. He was traveling. All his trip to South India, etc., that is described in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, is during the phase of the age of 24 to 30, 6 years. After that, at the age of 30, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he moved his residence, permanent residence, to Sri Jagannath Puri, the eternal abode of Lord Jagannath. It's also called as Purushottam Kshetra, the eternal home of Purushottam, the Supreme Lord, Sri Jagannath. Now, from the age of 30 to 48, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu lived there. Very specifically now, for the first 6 years in that stay, during those 18 years, the first 6 years, from 30 to 36, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu gave public darshan. He would dance at the Rath Yatra. He would meet with the devotees. But then at the age of 36 till the age of 48, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went away from public vision and he was in seclusion. He lived at a place called as the Gambhira. The word Gambhira means intense, grave feelings of separation from Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced the greatest pangs of separation in the mood of Radharani. Who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has described Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladhinir Shakti Rasmad Ekat Manav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatautau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatamadhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhava Dhyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. You can see this verse. This is the Mangalacharana verse. You can find this in Adi Leela chapter 1 of Chaitanya Charitamrita. This is the fifth verse of, actually verse 4, 5 and 6. You can see that they are all three Mangalacharana verses. This is again Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 1, text 4, 5 and 6. So I request the devotees, you can read it when you find time. So there Kaviraj Goswami has said, who is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladhinir Shakti Rasmat. Actually, there's one personality called Krishna. But then when Krishna feels a desire to reciprocate with devotees and have very sweet pastimes, then his pleasure potency inside, called as the Ladhini Shakti, externally manifests as Radharani. They are not two different personalities. Radha and Krishna are one person. Radha Krishna Eka Atma Dui Dheya Dhari Anyonya Vilase Rasa Aswadana Kari. Just Aswadan, to taste very sweet moods of devotion. Eka Atma, that one person Krishna has become two. Dui Deha Dhari. In another place, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that Radha Krishna Nitya Aiche Ekahi Swarup, Leela Rasa Aswadite Dhari Dui Roop. That eternally Radha and Krishna are one. But then to have very beautiful reciprocation. Krishna is accepting service and Radharani is offering service. To teach the whole world that how that when service is offered to Krishna, then one will find supreme joy. To teach this, they have become two. But now in Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Akhyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam. Those two have again become one. Krishna has accepted the mood of devotion of Radha in the heart, and Radharani's golden complexion has covered Krishna's body. So Kaviraj Goswami says, Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. I bow down to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is actually Krishna. But inside Krishna, the heartbeat of devotional service is that of Radharani. So it's actually Krishna with the mood of devotion of Radha. And what is the mood of devotion of Radha? Always saying Krishna, 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 Krishna. So it's actually Krishna saying Krishna, Krishna and feeling ecstasy because the mood is that of Radharani. And externally the complexion is not bluish black, is not dark complexion Ujjwala Nilamani like that of Krishna, but this is Tapta Kanchana Gauranga, golden complexion of Radharani. So this is Mahaprabhu. This is the Mangalacharanam of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Many more things can be said, but maybe at another time. So in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many beautiful, instructive, wonderful lessons have been outlined and described. Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. These are the two primary biographies, we can say. Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave his commentaries to the Chaitanya Bhagavat of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur, and our beloved Srila Prabhupada gave commentary and purport, the Bhaktivedanta purports to Chaitanya Charitamrita. So both Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita must be read by all the devotees, because Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, for all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is our Ishtadev. He is our Acharya. He is the Supreme Lord coming in the mood of an Acharya. Chaitanya Charitamrita has described that Krishna himself is describing Apanina kaila dharma shikhai na jai eita siddhanta gita bhagavate gai apani karimu bhakta bhavi angekar apani karimu bhakti shikamu shabar. That Krishna himself thought that I have given some instructive lessons in the Gita, but I have not practiced it myself. What kind of teacher? Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, right? Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to hammer this point, that Krishna gave theoretical teachings in the Gita. He said, surrender unto me, become my devotee, offer me, obeisances, chant my holy names, yajnanam japa yajñosmi, etc. But Krishna never chanted his own holy names. He never offered obeisances to himself. He never offered tulsi to himself. So Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj used to say that Krishna is a theoretical speaker. He is preaching something that he is not practicing. So therefore, to become the perfect teacher, he first spoke the Gita, and then whatever he spoke, he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and personally exemplified. So in Gaura Leela, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita became completely, perfectly realized, practically applied, and then taught. So on the basis of these two texts, Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will discuss something very, very important today. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we were describing and discussing, in the last 12 years, he was extremely reclusive and in the mood of Radharani, not interacting with the world, but crying and weeping, horripilating in separation from Krishna. He was experiencing the mood of Radharani in the last 24 years of his life. But in the first 24 years of his life, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu was displaying the pastimes like that of Krishna. Very naughty, very mischievous, very argumentative. In his childhood, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Sri Krishna, would go and touch snakes and rest on the snake, because Vrindavan Das Thakur described that snake that Mahaprabhu was playing with was actually Anantashesh, who had come to serve the Lord of his life. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his childhood, he displayed miraculous feats which were inconceivable even for his parents. There were ankle bells tinkling from his feet when there were no ankle bells tied at all. There was sound tinkling all over the house. There were imprints of the lotus feet of Vishnu all over the house. Where is all that coming from? Just by the walking of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the imprints of the lotus feet of Mahavishnu, which is a well-known fact. Everybody knows how the lotus feet of Krishna, the lotus feet of Mahavishnu looks like. Vishnupada, the lotus feet of Vishnu, is installed on the altar of most Vaishnavas. So they all knew, but when Nimai would walk around in the house, they would see the impressions of Vishnu. And how is Vishnu walking in the house? Demigods came in human forms to take darshan of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And just like Krishna, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in his childhood, Nimai Pandit was very naughty. He would walk around and he would debate with everyone as a scholar. Those were the pastimes where Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu tasted Vidya Vilas, the rasa, the mellow of Vidya Vilas, manifesting and displaying his scholastic pastimes. So one time, one very dear associate of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu by the name Mukunde, he was walking and he saw Nimai, he saw Gauranga. Immediately he changed his course and he went the other way. So Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu asked all his Sanskrit students. Mahaprabhu was a Pandit, so he had his students. He would teach Sanskrit and Nyaya, logic. So he immediately asked his students, why do you think Mukunda turned his course and he walked in a different direction looking at me? So no, what would the students tell their teacher? The actual reason was Mukunda did not want to waste his time debating on grammar, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would catch hold of anyone and everyone and he would say, tell me what is the rule that is used in this context of grammatical analysis. And the person would say, I don't know. And Nimai Pandit would say, go study and come and we will debate tomorrow. And if the person tries to say something, Nimai would cut their arguments with another rule of Sanskrit grammar. And then when they would agree, yes, we agree to this is correct, Nimai would say, no, what I said is incorrect. And he would take another sutra and cut his own argument. And he would go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And devotees, the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, they don't want to waste their time like this. They don't want to, anything that doesn't have to do with Krishna. They don't want to speak anything that doesn't have the name, the Nam, Rupa, Guna, Leela, the name, forms, qualities, pastimes of Krishna. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his students, why do you think Mukunda turned? Looking at me, he turned and he went the other way. The students said, oh dear teacher, that's probably because Mukunda has another important responsibility that he has to take care of. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, wrong, that's not the reason. The reason is, he's a devotee. And he knows if he talks to me, he has to only have all sorts of philosophical and grammatical debates. And devotees like Mukunda, they can't tolerate wasting their time. They just want to speak Krishna Katha. So he's trying to avoid me because he thinks I can't speak Krishna Katha. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of a devotee and he said, oh, he's trying to avoid me. But you all wait. That day will come. That day will come in the community of Vaishnavas where I will become such a devotee that all of them will chant my glories. And everybody will be falling at my feet. I will become such a devotee that even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva will be worshipping me. And all the students are trembling in fear. They don't know why their teacher is speaking the way he's speaking. Have you ever heard any devotee say that I will become such a great devotee, even Lord Shiva and Brahma will be worshipping my feet? But was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking lies? No. Because he is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. And Radharani is the greatest devotee. Lord Brahma has, the four heads of Lord Brahma have become the 4 hills of Barsana Dham, only to take the dust of the lotus feet of Radha on the head. So Brahma is worshipping Radharani. Lord Shiva worships Radharani. The Radha Kripa Kataksha Stavaraj, the very famous Munindra Brindavandite Trilokashoka Harini. This whole stotra up to Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Swadeshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda, Bharatishwari, Pramana Shashaneshwari, Rameshwari, Kshameshwari, Pramoda Kananeshwari, Vrajeshwari, Vrajadipe, Shri Radhike, Namostute, Iti Mamad Bhutam Stavam Nishamya Bhanu Nandinim, Karotu Santatam Janam, Kripakataksha Bhajanam, Bhavaitadaiva Sanchita Trirupa Karmanashanam, Bhavetada Brajendra Sunu Mandala Praveshanam. Lord Shiva has written this in the glorification of Srimati Radharani. So when Krishna, as Mahaprabhu, is speaking that one day, that day will come where Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva will worship my feet. Well, that's true. That's true. He's not speaking in pride. But it was inconceivable for the students. It was inconceivable for anyone who was listening. But how did this transformation take place in his life? From going from being Nimai Pandit to becoming in the mood of Srimati Radharani, tasting devotion. From tasting Vidya Vilas Ras to Bhakti Ras, Prem Ras. What was that moment in his life which got in this transformation? This is one of the most important lessons that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us through his pastimes. It is described by Vrindavan Das Thakur in Madhya Khanda that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he went to Gaia. And the context is, as we all know, Gaia is the place where Shraddha or Pindadan is performed for one's forefathers. So why did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go to Gaia? He went to Gaia to perform the ceremony for his departed father, Jagannath Mishra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lost his father, so along with all his students, many of his students in fact, he went to Gaia to perform the last rites. As he went to Gaia, he became in a different mood altogether. The mood of humility, the mood of reverence, the mood of devotion rose in his heart as he entered Gaia. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered Gaia with folded palms, he bowed down to this holy dham and he went to the very famous temple there, which contains, even till this very day, the holy lotus footprints of Mahavishnu. It's called as the Vishnupada or Vishnupada. And as Mahaprabhu went there with his students, there were Brahmanas in that temple inviting Mahaprabhu and the students, please come to this temple. This is a famous temple. This is the famous temple in Gaia where the lotus footprint of Vishnu is preserved. And then the Brahmanas started describing the glories of the lotus feet of the Lord. They said many, many beautiful prayers. And Vrindavan Das Thakur has sung it with unparalleled poetic Bengali presentation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard through the lotus lips of the Brahmanas, please come to this temple. This is the same place where the lotus feet of Narayana is preserved. These are the same lotus feet which are worshipped by demigods, 330 million demigods headed by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. These are the same lotus feet which in the pastime of Vamandev measured the height and breadth and depth of this whole creation in 2 steps and placed the 3rd step on the head of Danavendra Mahabali, on the head of Bali Maharaj. These are the same lotus feet from where Ganga Devi manifests and emanates. These are the same lotus feet that the yogis and the tapasvis, the great austere mendicants and sages, they get into contemplative samadhi for lifetimes, but they still can see these lotus feet. These are the same lotus feet for whom even Ananta Shesh becomes a footstool, which means Mahavishnu places his lotus feet on Ananta Shesh. These are the same lotus feet that pure Vaishnavas meditate upon for 24 hours a day. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was listening to Hari Katha, the glories of the lotus feet of Mahavishnu, from the authentic Brahmanas in the holy abode of Gaia, it is at that time that he became absorbed in ecstatic love. Nimai Pandit, who used to argue on grammatical rules in Navadvip, now for the first time was touched by the waves of ecstatic love as he heard this description. And just at that time, please envision what's happening, the description that's happening in our heart, that we are drinking through our ears. We are hearing this narration. Who is speaking this narration? Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. And all of us are listening through our ears. and drinking this nectar and envisioning this pastime on the canvas of our heart, painted by the colors of affection by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. At that time, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing so much ecstatic love, by his own divine sweet will, one very great devotee by the name Sripad Isvara Puri, he came and stood next to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw Isvara Puri. He fell and offered prostrated obeisances at his lotus feet. Isvara Puri Pad immediately saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's golden form, and he lifted him and embraced. And as Isvara Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced heart to heart, they bathed each other with tears of affection. You see, on one level, we understand that Isvara Puri is going to very soon become the spiritual master of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we can say on one level, that's the affection that the spiritual master has for the disciple. Isvara Puri is embracing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on one level as the spiritual master affectionately embraces the disciple out of affection. But on another level, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Lord of our life. And Isvara Puri, in the mood of a servant, in the mood of a devotee, is being embraced by his eternal master. Mahaprabhu is embracing his eternal servant. Who can imagine and who can understand, as they come in this world to perform very sweet, loving pastimes, what emotions, what current of devotion was going through their bodies as they embraced each other and they bathed each other in tears of affection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prabhu kahe tirth yatra safal amar, jatakshana dekhila charana tumar. Look at how beautifully Vrindavan Das Thakur writes. Prabhu kahe tirth yatra safal amar, jatakshana dekhilu charana tumar. That, O Sri Isvara Puri, said Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that my coming to Gaia, Tirtha Yatra, Safal, has become successful. Jatakshana dekhila charana tumar, just by seeing your lotus feet. Why did he say that? Because it is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Yatirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu abhitnyeshu sa eva gokhara. This has been given in a very, very famous verse that Srila Prabhupada used to quote many, many times. Very, very famous verse. And Prabhupada many times used to quote right from the third line, sometimes even from the second line. The verse goes as, Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridhatuke swadhi kalatradhishu bhauma ijjadi yatirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu abhitnyeshu sa eva gokhara. Which means, if somebody, the verse means many more things, but we will just come to the context. The verse explains that if somebody goes to a holy land and doesn't associate with the sadhus in that land, and just is interested in taking dips in different holy ponds, that is a very foolish idea. The actual reason why one should go to holy lands like Vrindavan, Navadvip, etc., is to associate with the senior, sincere, fixed up, strict devotees living there. We can't gain from their association while living at our home. We go there to their home to associate with them, to learn from them, to serve them. Just by taking dips in different holy ponds, yes, it is powerful, but the highest effect, yad tirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu abhitnyeshu. The Bhagavatam verse says, just by taking dips in different holy ponds and doing little parikrama without associating with the saints and the sadhus there and serving them and hearing, taking instructions from them, our coming to the holy land, the dham, is incomplete. So Mahaprabhu says that by coming to your lotus feet, my coming to this dham has become successful. Even Narottam Das Thakur has said, Gangara parasha hoile paschate pavan, darshane pavitra karo e tumar gun. That one can bathe 100 times in Ganga and still one may or may not become purified completely. As much as one can become purified just in the association of a great Vaishnava. So they are more merciful than Ganga. Another reason why is, for Ganga you have to go to the Ganges. Ganges doesn't flow in. But pure Vaishnavas, They travel from one place to another. They are like the flowing Ganga, giving mercy everywhere. Bhavat vidha bhagavata tirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthane swantaste nagadabrita. The first canto of Bhagavatam describes tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantaste nagadabrita. That pure Vaishnavas, they can purify even the holy abode because they carry Krishna in their heart. So with all this Siddhanta, with all this understanding, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Isvara Puri Pad, Prabhu kahe tirtha yatra safal amar, jatakshana dekhilo charana tumar. I have come to this holy land of Gaia and I have purified and performed Shraddha rites for my father. Through this process, one can deliver their father and liberate their father from all sins. But by taking shelter of pure Vaishnavas like yourself, Srila Isvara Puri, generations after generations get liberated. And where is the proof for this? We find this in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When Prahlad Maharaj is asked by Nrsingadev, ask for a benediction and I will fulfill. Prahlad Maharaj says, please purify my father of all his sins. Hiranyakashipu was a demon. Asura Varya. O Nrsingadev, said Prahlad Maharaj, if there's one benediction you want to give me, please purify my father of all his sins. And Nrsingadev smiles and he says, why are you even asking something that's obvious? When there is a pure Vaishnava in a family, 21 generations get liberated. 21 generations. I asked my Gurudev this question. What does this actually mean that 21 generations get liberated? Even if they don't chant Hare Krishna, will they get liberated? He said, no. What that means is, next life, they will be put in a liberating situation. A situation where they will have association. A situation where they have the opportunity to chant Hare Krishna. A situation... I think some mic is on unmute. Just a minute. Yeah, here we go. A situation where everybody can practice bhakti. Even if they're not chanting Hare Krishna this life, they will be given an opportunity next life where they can associate with sadhus. They can hear Harikatha. So this is also liberation. They're given a liberating situation. So when there are pure Vaishnavas, we take shelter of pure Vaishnavas. Generation after generation get liberated. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered his obeisances again. And he said, greater than any holy place is the lotus feet of a pure Vaishnava who has surrendered his life to Krishna. His lotus feet contains all holy places. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was glorifying his Guru Maharaj. And at that time, Isvara Puri Pad, as a devotee, he responded. He said, O Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, O Gauranga Mahaprabhu, recently I met you in Navadvip. And how much I was attracted by all your divine qualities, I cannot understand. Since the time I left Navadvip, I have been only thinking of you. And I thought to myself, you must be some incarnation of Krishna. Because I don't think of anybody except Krishna. I can't think of anybody except Krishna. But the fact that after meeting you, I cannot think of anybody except you, that in itself is a proof that you are none different from Krishna. In fact, day and night, I'm simply meditating on you, said Isvara Puri. And again, they both embraced each other. And how much love they had for each other. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he begged Isvara Puri. He said, please kindly allow me to be your disciple. Give me the fortune of offering service to you, rendering service to you. Let me drown and float in the waves and pools of ecstasy. Let me taste what Krishna Bhakti is all about. Devotees have been praying that when will that day come, the son of Shachi Mata, Nimai Pandit, will become a devotee. Oh Isvara Puri, please give me that fortune. Please give me Diksha. Please initiate me and give me this fortune of tasting love of Godhead. Because it is only by serving great souls like you that one can have taste in hearing and chanting. Bhagavatam describes, Shushrusho Shraddhadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syanmahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat. that Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. Only by serving great souls can one get taste. Vasudeva Katharuchi. So Isvara Puripad looked at Mahaprabhu and he said, you are asking me to give you Diksha? I am ready to surrender myself to you. I can surrender my everything to your lotus feet. You ask for it. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my only desire is please accept me as your disciple. I don't want anything else. So as service, Isvara Puri, he rendered this service by becoming the spiritual master of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. The spiritual master doesn't become spiritual master because he wants followers or he wants disciples or he wants a position of being worshipped. No. He renders service. Who serves whom? It's actually the spiritual master who ends up serving the disciple. The disciple is supposed to serve the spiritual master, is it not? But it is actually the spiritual master who serves the disciple. How does he serve the disciple? He serves the disciple by giving the disciple an opportunity to serve him. Right? If the spiritual master says, no, I will not accept service. So what's happening? The disciple, where will he serve? Whom will he serve? How will he get purified? So the spiritual master renders service to the disciple. He helps the disciple by giving him an opportunity, by accepting his service. The spiritual master is not someone who wants to be guru. He is someone who always eternally wants to be the disciple. Raja kahe ami tomar daser anudas, brittera britya koro ei mora as. My only desire is to be the servant of the servant. King Kulashekara in the Mukunda Mala Stotra also he has said this. Majjanmana phalamidam madukaita bhare mad prarthaniya madanugraha esha eva Tvad bhritya bhritya paricharaka bhritya bhritya bhrityasya bhritya iti mam smara lokanatha. King Kulashekara says, my Lord, O Sri Krishna, if you want to have some mercy on me, if you want to fulfill some desire of mine, please fulfill this desire. May I lifetime after lifetime only be the servant of 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 your servants. Someone will think, what is this? 7 times servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. What does this actually mean? It translates to one thing. To become a humble, insignificant, selfless, unconditional slave, servant at the lotus feet of one's spiritual master. That's all. That's all. This is all that we aspire for. Mahaprabhu said, Guru more murkha dekhi karila shasan. Mahaprabhu is speaking that when he was asked, why are you just chanting? Why don't you sit and read Vedanta with us? Mahaprabhu said, oh, I am murkha. Vedanta reading is meant for scholars. I am a fool. Guru more murkha dekhi karila shasan. My Gurudev saw that I am a fool. And he gave me the instruction, you just chant Hare Krishna. And Mahaprabhu, when he got the mantra from Isvara Puri, he started chanting. And as he started chanting, tears were flowing from his eyes. Hair was standing on end. His voice was choking. He couldn't even say Krishna. So Mahaprabhu was thinking, what is happening? Maybe some ghost has entered my body. He went to Isvara Puri. And he said, these are the things that are happening when I'm chanting the holy name of Krishna. Kiba mantra dila goshai, kiba tara bol, japite japite mantra karila pagal. What kind of mantra have you given me? Kiba mantra dila goshai. Hey, Isvara Puri, what kind of mantra have you given me? And kiba tara bol, what is the power of this mantra? Japite japite mantra karila pagal. This mantra is making me crazy as I'm chanting. Isvara Puripad said, yes, this is what this mantra does. If you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, in the mood of complete dependence on Krishna, this is what will happen. Evam brataswa priyanama kirtya jatanurago dhritachitta uchai. 11th canto Bhagavatam has also described, if someone chants the holy name with devotion, tears will come from their eyes, voice will choke, hair will stand on end, one body will start trembling. All these effects will come. But not in the initial stages. This will come eventually. But the way to go there is to chant. Wherever we are, however we are, we should try to, as much as possible, we chant. I went to one devotee's home and there was a slogan written on the wall. Chant as much as possible. Next, you may not be a human again. It was very instructive. Chant as much as possible. Next line, you may not be a human again. That we may or may not be a human again. So we should try to chant as much as possible. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he begged Diksha and Isvara Puri gave Diksha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life transformed after that. It's very interesting. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani herself. But till the time Mahaprabhu was by himself and he had not met Isvara Puri, he kept all that devotion hidden in his heart. To teach all of us this lesson, that whoever we are, only when we take initiation and we surrender to a spiritual master and serve and humbly follow his instructions, completely, 100%, only then devotion will rise in our heart. You see Srila Prabhupada also. Srila Prabhupada, pre-meeting Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, we can see our Prabhupada was displaying so many, of course Srila Prabhupada was a devotee right from childhood, but he was also displaying many patriotic feelings. And he even told his Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, why spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? India should first become free from the British rule, and then we can talk about devotion. And his Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he defeated all these arguments. And Prabhupada, in his own words, he said, I felt very happy when I was defeated by my Guru Maharaj. And Srila Prabhupada, all his life, he meditated on these two instructions. If you ever get money, print books. And second, distribute this message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the English language in the Western world. So Srila Prabhupada also taught us this, that by taking shelter of the spiritual master, Adau Guru Pada Ashraya, Vishrambhena Guru Seva, by serving the spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, the spiritual master must be a pure Vaishnav, and the disciple must be a selfless servant. If this combination is there, then there is explosion. Isvara Puri was a very great Mahabhagavat Vaishnav, pure Vaishnav. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his manifest pastimes, is taking the role of a humble servant. Or we could say, Isvara Puri is taking the role of a humble servant by serving the Lord of his life, by giving him Diksha to the fulfillment of the Lord's desire. Whatever the Lord wants. If he wants me to give him Diksha, I will give him, because my duty is to serve him. So either way, we can see this. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was cooking. And as he was cooking for himself, he saw he had just completed the last preparation. And at that time, Isvara Puri, he entered into the room. And he said, I have come at the right time, he said in a joking way. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, please sit down. You have come perfectly at the right time. I have just finished, and it's Krishna's great kindness that he's allowing me this service opportunity to serve his pure Vaishnav. Please allow me to serve you prasad. Isvara Puri said, but what about you? You have prepared only enough for one person. So you also come, we will sit and divide, and we will take together. Isvara Puri Pad, the spiritual master, he offered. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I cannot eat with you. You take everything. You're my spiritual master. I will cook extra for myself. And in this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's the Supreme Lord, served by Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambhrama Sevyamanam, millions and millions of Lakshmis serve the lotus feet of Mahavishnu, who's only a plenary portion of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That Gauranga Mahaprabhu is becoming the humble, obedient servant of his dear devotee. Not was he just cooking for his Guru Maharaj, he was also serving with his own hands, bringing him more. And then also asking, appealing to him, please take more, please take more. Everyone is aspiring for the service of God. But God only aspires. God only aspires to humbly serve his servants. Nothing else. He doesn't want anything else. He just wants to be the servant of his servants. You can see. Saratya parashada sevana sakya dautya virasananu gamanastavana pranaman snigdeshu pandushu jagat pranatim cha vishnum bhaktim kurutin nripatis charanaravinde. How humbly Krishna served the Pandavas. how he touched the lotus feet of Yudhishthir Maharaj, how he became the chariot driver for Arjuna, how he became a servant for Sandipani Muni. This is all that the Lord wants. He just wants to serve his servants. And as he served Isvara Puri, he begged Isvara Puri to give him instruction. And Isvara Puri said, you should not waste your time in simply becoming a great scholar of Vedanta. You should simply become the servant of the Vaishnavas. And constantly you should chant Hare Krishna. You should not do anything else. You should just chant and broadcast this loud chanting of the holy name. After this instruction coming from his Guru Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began the great propagation, the broadcast of the Sankirtan movement. It was from this point in his life that he began to become the Sankirtan devotee. It is explained by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur that when Gauranga Mahaprabhu was feeling this great debt or indebtedness, you could say, to his spiritual master Isvara Puri, he actually went on a pilgrimage to the birthplace of Srila Isvara Puri. It's called as Kumar Hatta. And he went there and he was so much immersed in the thoughts of his Guru Maharaj, that how dear and beloved his Guru was to him, that he was rolling in the dust of the birthplace of Isvara Puri, crying out, Isvara Puri, Isvara Puri, Isvara Puri. He couldn't say anything else. He was the greatest scholar, the greatest professor in every field of knowledge. And he couldn't think of anything except uttering the holy name of his Guru Maharaj. This is all that he wanted. This is all that he wanted, out of gratitude, to just chant the name of his Guru. Then it is described, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he picked up some dust, some dirt from that place and put it in the corner of his cloth, and he took it with him wherever he went. And he would say, this is the greatest precious treasure in my life, that I have the dust from the birthplace of my Guru Maharaj. And time and again he would accept it as prasad. We could even ask this question, what made Isvara Puri so special? What is it that attracted the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the lotus feet of Isvara Puri? This answer, and this is the final concluding section in our discussion, this answer is given by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his Chaitanya Charitamritam. He describes Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in great elaborate details. He explains about Sripad Madhavendra Puri, who is the guru of Isvara Puri. And he has extolled his glories throughout the entire chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And there he has described how Sri Madhavendra Puri was such a great preacher of bhakti. He attracted the hearts of so many great Vaishnavas. You can think about all the great Vaishnavas, and they were all disciples of Madhavendra Puri. Nityananda Prabhu was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Advaita Acharya was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Paramananda Puri was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Brahmananda Bharati was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Vrishabhanu Maharaj's incarnation, was a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. And Isvara Puri, the guru of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. Why is it that Isvara Puri won the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so much? It is because when Sripad Madhavendra Puri was very old, he was completely physically incapable of doing the needful, the daily activities. He was simply laying in the bed, immersed in separation from Krishna. It is described Madhavendra Puri would cry in separation from Radha and Krishna, and he would sing, Ai Deena Dayardha Nath He, Mathura Nath Kadavalokya Se, Hridayam Twadaloka Kataram, Daita Brahmyati Kim Karomyaham. Madhavendra Puri Pad used to cry, Ai Deena Dayardha Nath He, Mathura Nath Kadavalokya Se, O Lord of Mathura, when again will I be able to see you? You have left me in Vrindavan and you have gone to Mathura. My eyes are thirsty and hungry to see your form. My heart is breaking in separation. Where will I go? How will I find you? What am I supposed to do? How can I find you? In this mood of a piteous call, Madhavendra Puri Pad used to cry and weep in his old age. He was so much immersed, we could say, in this consciousness that his body couldn't even have the power to walk. And at that time, it was Isvara Puri who accepted the position of being a humble menial servant of his Gurudev, Sripad Madhavendra Puri. When Sripad Madhavendra Puri would respond to nature's call, he couldn't even get up. It was Isvara Puri who lovingly would lift his Guru Maharaj, clean him up, clean the stool and urine of his Guru Maharaj with his own hands, give bath to his Guru Maharaj's body, anoint his body with tilak, feed him prasad, take care of him completely, massage his lotus feet, fan him. And at the same time, seeing the pains in the heart of his Guru Maharaj, it was Srila Isvara Puri who would sing very beautiful verses and prayers and kirtans to give pleasure to the heart of his Guru Maharaj. So we can all picture this in our heart for months and months and months and months and months, what kind of menial service Isvara Puri was performing to his Guru Maharaj. He was pleasing his Guru in all ways possible. Shariram surupam yathava kalatram yashaha charu chitram dhanam me rutulyam manaschena lagnam gurorangri padme tathakim 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 tathakim. Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya has said that if you have all good qualities but you cannot serve your Guru Maharaj in complete surrender, what have you gained? What have you gained? What have you gained? What have you gained? On the other hand, if someone becomes the humble, meek servant of his Guru Maharaj, Krishna comes to become the disciple of such a great Vaishnav. Isvara Puri, he used to serve the Lord through service of his Guru Maharaj, Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri profusely blessed Isvara Puri while he was on his departing bed. As Madhavendra Puri was on his departing bed, he blessed his disciple. And now Isvara Puri had won the heart of Krishna so much by this service that Krishna appeared as Mahaprabhu only to take Diksha from Isvara Puri. This was the mood of Sri Isvara Puri. Isvara Puri always served all his god brothers, also seeing them in connection to his Guru Maharaj. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also followed the same principle. He served his god brothers also, understanding that they are also connected to his Guru Maharaj in the same family. So in this way, we can understand. The conclusion is, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi, dhyayan stuvam tasya yashaha tri sandhyam, vande guru Sri Charanaravindam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has said, if you want the mercy of Krishna, then serve the Guru. And if you don't serve the spiritual master, and if you don't please him, then we will not please Krishna. Whatever we are, whoever we are, whatever we do, we will not win the heart of Krishna. There is a very beautiful verse, and with this I would like to conclude. Krishna is telling Arjuna, this is even quoted in the Laghu Bhagavatamrita by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is also quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Mahaprabhu quotes it. What is the verse? Ye me bhakta jana partha, name bhaktascha te jana, bhakta nam cha ye bhakta, te me bhakta tamamataha. What does this mean? Ye me bhakta jana partha. Partha, who's Partha? Arjun. Krishna is telling this to Arjun. Oh Arjun, ye me bhakta jana partha. Those who are saying that they are my devotees, name bhaktascha te jana. They are actually not my devotees. But however, bhaktanam cha ye bhakta, those who are the devotees of my devotees, te me bhakta tamamataha. That it's my opinion that they are the best servants that I have, because they are the servants of my servants. So in this way, we can understand the mood of loving reciprocation between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his Gurudev, Isvara Puri. So much more can be said, but we will keep that for another discussion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Back to you, Amrit Gauranga Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for such a wonderful and nectarian lecture. I see some devotees have raised their hands, so I can leave some time for the question and answers. If you have time, Prabhu.
Actually, I would love to, but I have one commitment which is coming up in another 12 minutes. Not a Harikatha, but I have to get on a meeting call. So
okay.
I just would like to keep like at least 5-minute buffer for that. So maybe I will take your permission to pause here for today.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Sorry, devotees. So maybe I think the devotees who raise their hands, they are connected to you, maybe they can reach to you offline. So Prabhuji will kindly answer your questions if you have anything. Then I will not take much of your time, Prabhu, because of your other commitments. And once again, thank you very, very much, Prabhu. And I just want to take 2 minutes, Prabhu. We were actually organizing these online lectures for our Mukundadesh because of the pandemic situation, and we want to invite some famous speakers, very well known to all the communities. And somehow we are trying to reach out you and how we can get your time for our Mukundadesh lecture series. And we were like, bit of puzzled itself, like how we can contact you. So somehow I had a contact with Panamali Pandit Prabhu. So I was in Boston in 2007. So for a short period, that's how I get connected with Panamali Pandit Prabhu. And I just want to, give a try, like whether Prabhuji remembered me or not. But yeah, somehow in my email box, the email from 2007, I just replied to that email to Panamali Pandit Prabhu. And then he recognized me, and I asked, like, Prabhuji, is it possible to get the appointment or time from Amarendra Prabhu? So he kindly gave your contact, and surprisingly, you accepted also, despite of your schedule. And thank you very much, Prabhu, for your kind presence and enlightening. I'm sure everyone has bathed in the nectar of Gaurakatha, and if Prabhuji has time, and maybe we can meet again in the next series of lectures. So we will organize and let you know. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I will not take your time, so I will kindly.
Very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. And for the devotees, we have some announcements. Prabhuji, maybe in case if you want to leave, and you can.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have a couple of announcements for Mukundadesh temple. So as you all know, that gaurapurnima is coming in less than a month, and we have found a place for organizing the program, and we'll announce the venue and program details soon, and we are still in the discussions, but for sure we have a fixed place where we can do this festival in a very nice way, and in that way all the devotees will also get opportunity to celebrate festival together. And that is one announcement. And the second announcement, I think probably many devotees have seen that that Prem Prasad Prabhu has sent a post for Gaurapurnima, where we requested devotees to share some short video chanting loudly gauranga, so that we can compile into a video. And this is one kind of promotion and also offering towards Gauranga Mahaprabhu for Gaurapurnima. And yeah, these are the two important announcements, and more details we will share in the temple WhatsApp group. And also you can follow our Facebook page. Yeah, so this is huge crowd. I'm sure some of the devotees are still didn't get chance to join the Zoom, but they are watching in our Facebook page. And yeah, so these are the announcements. Maybe I can see still two devotees have raised their hands, Tanvi and Vanshika. So do you have any comments or questions? You can unmute yourself and ask. I can't hear you if you are speaking.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Obeisances too. I just wanted to know that actually I also tried to contact Amarendra Prabhuji. Actually, we want a home program. So can you please guide that how to conduct a seminar like you did?
We are basically from Germany. I don't know where you are located.
I'm from India. Actually, we did an online program just like this.
Okay.
So
Yeah, You can find it in ISKCON Boston Temple. There the contact is there. You can reach out to Prabhuji like that.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, and thank you for conducting this session also.
Thank you very much for joining as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Another devotee, Vanshika. Okay, so if there are no questions, so Siddhi Sadhan Prabhu, do you have any announcements? Okay, so I think there are no questions from anyone. Finally, Sudipta Roy Chaudhary. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Dandavat Pranam. I'm from India, Prabhu, and this is the first live session I'm attending. Actually, I've tried a lot to be in the live session with Amarendra Prabhu, and actually, I don't want to miss any of his lectures and the sessions and the teachings he gives. But the problem is we are not able to reach out to him or his any social pages or any other contacts that we can get the news that when and where he's going to give us the next teachings and the sessions or the classes he does. So can you please guide us with this?
I also don't have the schedule of Prabhuji. So as I said in the for other devotee that we just contacted Prabhuji through ISKCON Boston Temple. So they have arranged this session for us. So I mean, I also don't have any details how to organize programs with Prabhuji. So if you have anything, probably you can reach out ISKCON Boston Temple there, because in the website there is a details of Prabhuji's contact email ID. So okay, I think we are in Germany it is 2:30. Devotees also have some other commitments. So with that, I would like to end the session here. And thank you very much for all your participation. And please follow, if you are located in Germany, please follow ISKCON Mukundadesh Facebook page, and you will also get notifications about our next programs and the schedule and everything. So thank you very much, and I wish you all a very nice evening or nice morning if you are located in US. And for India, it is, I think it's evening. So thank you very much, and we will meet again in the next session. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavavrinda ki jai.